woman in search of her missing daughter finds her own destiny instead in N.K. Jemisin's The Fifth Season, the book I'm reviewing on this episode of SFF180, and a masterclass exercise in epic fantasy writing that merits favorable comparison to the best work of Ursula Le Guin. Hello everybody, Thomas here. Thank you again so much for joining me. The novel, first in a trilogy, takes place on a continent that is so seismically active that sometimes geological events occur that can have after effects lasting for months or even years. And yet, it is inhabited by a race of people who, out of necessity, have grown very, very hardy in surviving these fifth seasons. Entire civilizations have fallen, and still the people rebuild and start over, although they show very little inclination to study their distant past all that much. However, remnants of it do remain. High up in the sky, floating crystal obelisks of unknown origin bear mute witness to all of the lives down below. Now, with deliberate irony, the continent is called the Stillness, but beyond that, there's little indication given that its people are given to wit or introspection. Now, world building is a vital component to any epic fantasy novel, and yet here, the world is not merely a setting, but a character in its own right, a ruthless antagonist. Now, to survive in the Stillness has required not merely rugged determination, but evolutionary adaptation. Everyone has an organ located near their brainstems that allows them awareness of the landscape's seismic ebb and flow. But some people possess an ability called orogeny, which allows them to manipulate and even control this activity. These people are both vitally important and exceedingly dangerous. Bigotry is a key theme at the heart of the fifth season. Origines are the only people who have the ability to protect the cities and the communities called comms of the Stillness. And yet, if these people are left to their own devices, untrained, the danger they present could be cataclysmic. An organization called the Fulcrum seeks out origines from all over the continent, and under the watchful eye of guardians, not only trains and educates, but breeds them. So, by sheer misfortune of birth, an entire class of people are brought up with the understanding that they have a lifelong duty to protect a society that fears and hates them, and suspects their power. Now, there are three narrative threads to this story. In one, a very young girl named Amaya is taken from her family and brought to the Fulcrum to begin her training, where she will have a fateful encounter with another girl, not a student, that will shape her entire understanding of her world. In another, a four-ring origin, that's how they rank themselves, by the name of Cyanite, is assigned to accompany a high-ranking senior named Alabaster on a mission to investigate some geological troubles that are plaguing the harbor of a coastal calm. She has also been assigned to breed with him. Now, this naturally does not get the two of them off on the right foot in terms of their regard for one another, and yet their relationship will become the novel's most important. On their travels, Cyanite will learn an awful secret about the Fulcrum, and on the coast, both will run into more enemies than friends among the people whose very future survival relies upon them. What should be a simple harbor clearing job could have more drastic long-term consequences. The third storyline is the book's most striking. Narrated in the second person, it follows the quest of a woman named Essen to locate her missing daughter following a cataclysm that we are told, right at the beginning of the novel, spells the end of the world. This will lead to a fifth season that humanity will not recover from, because it is going to last for thousands and thousands of years. But the fact that the world has ended for the last time does not impede a mother's determination to protect her child. The second-person voice has two functions. First, it connects readers directly to Essen and her plight, and it also drops a few hints about the timeline of events in the book overall. Now, that all of these storylines are going to connect is a given. Exactly how they connect is a stroke of almost casual genius. There is, for instance, a decision that one of these women makes that informs Essen's entire sense of determination to protect and even avenge her children. If bigotry is one of the book's main themes, family is another. Because there will be a moment when Alabaster and Cyanite are temporarily freed, although never completely freed, from the laws of the Fulcrum and their appointed roles in serving it, where they can finally understand and experience what it means to just live and love and grow as normal people. Jemisin's gift for creating an affinity between reader and character here is at an all-time career high, and I have never been so anxious and yet so committed to following a pair of shattered heroes through their shattered world. And that is all I have time for on this episode of SFF180. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate the support for the channel. Remember, the most important thing, these are reviews. You will not always agree with me, but if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. That's how SFF180 grows as a channel. And until I see all you guys next time, happy reading.